I just got a brand new order of coffee with some chaga mushrooms and some other mushrooms for, to make you feel like you're smarter than you are. This was my first sip. I wanted to tell you guys about the program that I just finished with the magnificent and so beautiful and so smart Helena Bowen. Helena Bowen is a TED speaking coach, and I've been trying to get to work with her since January, which is when I met her in person at our in-person mastermind event hosted by Laura Belgrade from the Talking Shrimp. You probably heard of her. So I met Helena there and I was like, I really want to work with you, girl. I didn't want to give a TED talk. No, that was not on my radar. But I wanted someone to help me write speeches, give me feedback, all that stuff. I have worked with a speaking coach before. I took the speaking training. I was part of the NSA. I was trying to do speaking at a small gatherings. But my biggest problem was that I couldn't seem to write a speech. So I have a speaker page. I have the topic that I'm passionate about. I am excited to talk to people all night long, all day long. But somehow writing a speech and to have it ready at any point of time, that never happened for me. And so after a month of chasing Helena, she finally agreed to get on a Zoom with me, and she was all very friendly and approachable and said that she told me how she works with people, and I was like, all in, let's start doing something, but let's start small. You don't like, well, you know what I mean. I'm like, okay, so I want to write a keynote speech. How about you review it for me and give me feedback and we'll work on that speech. She said, fine. So I was supposed to write that speech and send her my first draft and start working with her when the COVID hit. And basically because of that, all my spring plans went out the window. Door, where are the things going out when you have a pandemic? I don't know. And I never wrote this speech. And I kept thinking that I still want to work with Helena. Long story short, she launches the Speakeasy. And I watched her because we were in the same mastermind together. I watched her launch Speakeasy. I see how amazing the product is. She gracefully invited me to be part of her affiliate program. So I did that. And obviously I was like, I'm joining this. It's not even a question. So that's how I joined. It wasn't even a question. I was going to work with this girl anyway. And the cost of the Speakeasy was significantly less than what she charges for the similar kind of work. So yes, it was like, yeah, no big deal right away. So that's how I joined. Now, I want to tell you about my experience. So the program was only 8 weeks. I know the next one that she's launching is going to be longer. Good for you guys, because I was under so much pressure. It seemed at first like it will be a walk in the park. Oh, nice, I have a great coach, so everything is done, right? When we purchase a course or a program, we don't think about how much work we're putting in at the end of the day. We have no idea what goes in, right? But if you were a part of the really good program, you have noticed probably that it takes a lot of work to go through it, and at the end you get the results that are, you look back and you understand that you wouldn't have done it yourself. And my favorite thing that I learned was how to be succinct. As I was writing this speech, I started presenting the webinars inside the communities of some people that I work with. And these webinars were an hour-long webinar. And with Helena's help and feedback, I took that piece and turned it into a very quick 15-minute speech. And so the feedback that I received from somebody who watched both of them was like, okay, so that was great information, the webinar, but this 15-minute talk was wow. It was like a hit between the eyes. It was on point and a lot of information and quick at the same time. So, and that was a great experience. That was something that I never had that quality in me. I was never succinct. When somebody would ask me a question about my vacation, they'd be yawning 3 minutes later, 10 minutes later, 45 minutes later. They're sorry they asked me a question. I can't tell a quick story. I can't give a quick answer because I come up with more and more answers and details, and I want to share them all. I have nothing to hide. So that was very interesting. That was my favorite. That's probably my favorite takeaway. Sorry, Helena, there's a ton of other great things, but this was my favorite. Like, I learned how to be short and sweet. Obviously, it's a group environment, so you get supportive friends, you make new friends, and at the end of these 8 weeks, we were so supportive of one another. It was just so great to see and to give that support and to receive it. And the summit at the end, when you get to present your talk, you have a deadline. So she gives you a deadline. There's no way in hell you can fail this program because you know what's coming. You have to present. So when you're joining this program, know that you want to start working from the week one. You want to start drafting your speech as early as possible. And then as Helena trains you and gives you the pointers, it will be easier for you to adjust rather than procrastinating it like I did until week 5, and then I had to rush it. And the time to rehearse was very short for me. So that's my tip. I know that she's launching this program again in the fall, and I know that I'm obviously going to be an affiliate for it because I went through it. I know what it's like. I loved it, and I want to tell the world about it. One more thing I want to share is that I had purchased Helena's VIP option. So I had her feedback on every stage of the program. And I understand now, looking back, that there's no way I could have taken that program otherwise, because I don't suggest taking it otherwise, because her feedback is everything. It's the reason you want to work with Helena. The girl is, her brain is on fire. She sees things in my script that, looking back, I understand that I wouldn't have caught at any point. And I was sharing my script with a few friends of mine who were helping me with slides, with this and that, with feedback. They didn't give me that feedback. So these things, you know how sometimes you write an email or an article or a blog post or whatever, and then later, a couple of months later, you review it and you're like, well, this can go, this is not relevant, this is too much water. And you can edit it down and make it better, right? And you should do that. That's fine, especially with blog posts and articles out there. But with that speech, I look back and I realized that those things that she corrected, and she showed me how to order the speech, how to make it flow better so that people don't lose me while I present. All those things are incredibly important. You only get them with her feedback. And then she really goes in we shared it in the Google Doc. So every time she would send me a feedback, she would be like, oh, great job, this looks amazing. And then you open a Google Doc and it's all red, comments everywhere. So she would like really go in and edit it and make suggestions. It was just, it's a hard work, and she was committed to making it great. And Helena, you're amazing. You're my rock star, and I hope we get to work more and more in the upcoming lifetime. Good luck on everything, and cheers, you guys.